We're live. I think we're live on Facebook. This is me, the teapotmOnk. The third of 5 live broadcasts on Tai Chi. Raw and unbalanced. Now, I'm hoping that this is working. I'm not sure if the connection's going to last today, so we'll see how it goes. But today we're going to be talking about, oh, I think that's live. Yes, I think I've got confirmation I'm live. Well, quick recap, 3rd of 5 sessions. So make sure you've seen the others first. If you haven't seen the first and second, go and see them first and collect the set. Why collect the set? Just imagine 50 years hence from now, you've got your grandchildren on your knee and they're saying to you, did you collect a set of those teapotmOnk series? And you say no, and they go, foolish grandparent, that's worth a fortune now on eBay. Just saying, for your own good. Okay, let's just quick recap of what we've done so far in this fantastic earth-shattering series. In episode 1, we looked at preparation before starting the form and what you could do to maximize the benefits. In session 2 last week, we looked at that first posture and we discussed what it meant, how it was relevant and how it affects the way we look at not only Tai Chi but the world or the universe. So this week we're going to be looking at breath. Probably the most important element in Tai Chi. Not convinced? Well, try doing the form without breathing. See? It's pretty important. Try practicing martial arts without breathing. You lose a lot of the effectiveness without breath. Still not convinced? Try this. Try living without breathing. Rest my case. So breathing's pretty important, but it's not so much the need to breathe that we're looking at today. We're looking more at coordinating breath with movement. Now, this is where it gets tricky because everyone in the world and their dog has a theory about when to breathe and when not to breathe. Fortunately, I have with me, he says, shuffling through his papers, a useful chart that I managed to buy off the Harvard Medical School, which explains in pictorial form about breathing. I shall be referring to this chart later on, but take a screen grab and keep it for your own reference. Okay, so in Tai Chi we're normally taught to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Well, this is what's mentioned in the classics. Yang Chen Fu wrote about this, and Tai Chi teachers do have a tendency to refer to that scholarly chunk of text called the classics. Well, they refer to them when it suits them, when it's contradictory or it doesn't suit them, they tend to ignore it. But let's just have a look at whether or not we can extrapolate any general principles from this idea of breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. All well and good, but there are exceptions. Just imagine for a moment you've got a cold. Can you breathe in through the nose? No, you can't. Just imagine the only place you've got to practice is outside and you live next door to sewage works. Do you want to be breathing in through your nose? No, not really. Or the opposite. Do you want to be breathing in through your mouth if you're living next door to a mosquito-infested swamp? Probably not. So there are exceptions. So what rules can we extrapolate from this? Well, the classics do mention, and I'm referring to the classics because it supports my argument now rather than contradicts it. All breathing should be slow and continuous. That means to say you don't hold your breath at any point. Tongue on the roof of the mouth and breathe from your belly. Or, as Chuang Tzu said, breathe from the soles of your feet. So, if we be breathing from our belly or from the soles of our feet, what are the lungs doing? Anyway, it's not really important where we get the air from. We could get it through a process of osmosis. We could get it through Amazon Prime if we've got an account. What's more important is what we do with it. So let's go back to that idea of coordination again and apply it there. Most of us, when we start Tai Chi, we ask our teachers when to breathe in and when to breathe out, and they'll give us a very clear answer. The only problem with this is every Tai Chi teacher you talk to will give you a different answer. Reminds me of that old joke about Tai Chi teachers. How many Tai Chi teachers does it take to change a light bulb? It takes 100. 1 to actually get on and do it, and 99 to stand there going, it's not the way we do it in my school. The problem with all of this is that when students begin their Tai Chi practice, they turn up at school because pure accident they've arrived at that particular school, and they generally absorb everything the teacher says because they've got nothing to compare it to. They've never been to another school. They've probably never been encouraged to go to another school. They've never been encouraged to look at other styles to see if that's more suitable, that's more appropriate, that's more responsive to their needs. Yes, it's not good. Anyway, how do we know whether teachers are telling us any of the truth or not? They'll say, follow me, I know what I'm saying because of my lineage. You can track my Tai Chi all the way back to Yang Lu Chan. Others will say, nothing. Follow me and my school because my school's teacher can track their lineage all the way back to Lao Tzu. Others will say, that's nothing at all. My teacher used to walk the dog of the man who used to hang around with the Yellow Emperor. It all becomes rather nonsense and all rather meaningless. So how do you know if your teacher's telling you what's right or wrong when it regards to breathing and the form? When you can't go by lineage or any of that other nonsense, you can't go by the suit they're wearing or their haircut or how effective they are at using their eyebrow to defeat 20 opponents on the street. One of the ways you can determine whether your teacher's any good is to find out whether they do encourage you to broaden your studies, whether they encourage you to go beyond the walls of their particular studio. Are they encouraging you to visit and try out and read and experiment all the time with different styles? Or are they saying only they can change a light bulb? So, do an experiment. Try and share this video on your timeline and mention a Tai Chi teacher that you know. Let's see if it goes round or whether it just gets deleted immediately. So, to finish up, what principles can we take about breathing from the Tai Chi form? Well, clearly, as we saw last week, when you begin, you breathe in. As the arms raise, you begin to breathe, and that breath comes in with a raising movement, a rising of the arms. That's the sort of general principle. And contrary, when they drop down, you're beginning to breathe out. So that's a vague sort of principle we can hang on to. The second one is that as the arms move towards you, there's a breathing in, and as the arms move away, there's a breathing out. And as you'll notice, I did push. And it works in obvious examples like push. It works clearly in brush knee, for example, breathing in and breathing out. But what about single whip? What about diagonal flying? What about moves that are very long or very short? How do we correspond the breathing patterns with each of the different moves in the form? And this has plagued teachers for centuries. Well, one answer is to use the old micro-breathing pattern. And this means that you adjust your breathing according to who you are and the form that you're practicing and the length of time you're taking to conduct each posture. So that basically means you breathe out at the end of each move and you adjust your breathing accordingly. So it might require a longer breath beforehand before you breathe out, or it might require a shorter one. So you need to adjust it yourself. And what's important about this is it returns us to the idea of whose form this is. Is it Lao Tzu's? Is it the Yellow Emperor's? Is it Yang Luchan's? Is it your teacher's 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 teacher? Or is it yours? I prefer this sort of anarcho-libertarian individualism of Tai Chi, where I can interpret it as it benefits me, as opposed to the dictatorship of the pulmonaries, the lungs. So, as you end each move in the form, you breathe out. Connect it to that and you won't go far wrong. Now, it does raise one last problem, which is when do we know a position ends and when do we know when a position starts? And for that, you're going to have to wait till next week because we're running out of time today. And if you're good, I promise I won't laugh about how serious people take their forms next week. So it'll be a bit light-hearted, I think. Plus, if you're really good, for an exclusive, you might just see the excommunicated, the bastardized monk form going on in the background. Anyway, share this before next week and get it out there as wide as we can. Why do we want to share it? Why do we want to get it out as wide as we can? It's for the sake of the planet. Do you want people to be walking around breathing out when they should be breathing in when they should be breathing out? Think about the carbon dioxide levels. We've got to do something about this. Do you want people sticking their tongue to the roof of their mouth or someone else's? Let's share this and get it out there before it could happen. And what will happen to international relationships if everyone goes around doing this? Finally, do you want to see people playing around with their diaphragm all the day rather than vacuum in the kitchen? Clearly not. So for the sake of global peace, for the sake of the ozone layer, for the sake of preventing world calamity, share this. And I'll see you here next week. Yeah.